1976 Daytona 500 Cup Series, the Silver Fox versus the King. Richard Petty and David Pearson provided a legendary finish at the 1976 Daytona 500. On the final lap, Pearson executed a slingshot pass on Petty down the backstretch, only for Petty to dive low in turn 4 to retake the lead. The two touched bumpers and spun out. Petty's car stalled in the infield, while Pearson, with his front end crumpled, kept his engine running. Pearson limped across the finish line first at about 20 miles per hour to capture his only Daytona 500 win. Petty's car came to rest shy of the line. The dramatic wreck and slow-motion finish made this one of NASCAR's most memorable last laps. Both drivers were unhurt and even joked after the race, knowing they delivered an iconic finish that epitomized their fierce rivalry. 1979 Daytona 500 Cup Series, the last lap crash and the fight. In NASCAR's first live flag-to-flag televised race, the 1979 Daytona 500 produced a chaotic last lap and an infamous post-race brawl. Leaders Donnie Allison and Cale Yarborough were alone in front on the final lap when they tangled in turn 3, crashing each other out in the infield. Richard Petty, running a half lap behind, suddenly inherited the lead and held off Darrell Waltrip and A.J. Foyt to win his 6th Daytona 500. As Petty took the checkered flag, Yarborough and the Allison brothers, Donnie and Bobby, were throwing punches in the grass, enraged over the wreck. The combination of a surprise Petty victory and a fistfight on live TV captivated viewers, marking a pivotal moment in NASCAR's popularity. This finish had it all: high drama on the track and off, making it one of the sport's most thrilling conclusions. 1999 Bristol Night Race, Cup Series, rattling his cage at Bristol. Short track fireworks defined the 1999 Bristol Night Race. Terry Labonte and Dale Earnhardt, two future Hall of Famers, were battling under the lights at Bristol Motor Speedway. Labonte passed Earnhardt for the lead coming to the white flag after a late restart. In typical Bristol fashion, Earnhardt gave chase and nudged Labonte's rear bumper in turn 2 on the final lap. The bump sent Labonte spinning across the track in a cloud of smoke. Earnhardt slipped by the wreck and crossed the line first to claim the win, as the crowd reacted with a mix of cheers and boos. In victory lane, Earnhardt infamously said he didn't mean to wreck him, he just wanted to rattle his cage. The incident sparked controversy, but it cemented this finish as one of NASCAR's wildest, a last-lap bump and run that led to a spun-out leader and a highly charged win for the Intimidator. 2001 Atlanta Cup Series, Harvick's photo finish tribute. Just 3 weeks after Dale Earnhardt's tragic death, rookie Kevin Harvick stepped into Earnhardt's car and delivered an emotional, thrilling finish at Atlanta. In the March 2001 Cup race, Harvick dueled with Jeff Gordon over the final lap. Coming off turn 4, Harvick in the white number 29, renumbered from Earnhardt's number 3, was door-to-door with Gordon's number 24. The two charged to the finish line, and Harvick prevailed by 0.006 seconds, about half a fender, in a photo finish. It was Harvick's first career win, and he celebrated by holding 3 fingers out the window in honor of Earnhardt. The finish, one of the closest in NASCAR at the time, provided a cathartic underdog victory and a touching tribute. Harvick's margin over Gordon was so slim that it mirrored Earnhardt's own photo finish win at Atlanta 1 year prior, making this last-lap thriller both unforgettable and deeply meaningful to NASCAR fans. 2003 Carolina Dodge Dealers 400 at Darlington, Cup Series, Craven versus Busch, closest Cup finish ever, tied. Darlington Raceway's old slogan is "Too tough to tame," and in 2003 it produced an epic finish. In the closing laps, Ricky Craven's number 32 Pontiac and Kurt Busch's number 97 Ford traded paint repeatedly as they fought for the lead. Craven got alongside Busch off the final corner, the two cars literally bouncing off each other in a drag race to the line. They crossed the stripe side by side, colliding, and it was initially unclear who won. The electronic timing showed Craven the victor by 0.002 seconds, the smallest margin of victory in Cup Series history until 2024. Both drivers demonstrated incredible car control despite the fender-banging duel. Craven's win, by about an inch, snapped a long winless streak and was Pontiac's last Cup victory. This photo finish, often regarded as one of the greatest in NASCAR, left fans and announcers in awe of how two drivers could battle so hard and finish virtually tied. 2007 Daytona 500 Cup Series, photo finish and big one at the line. The 49th Daytona 500 delivered a heart-stopping final lap. Veteran Mark Martin led coming off the final turn, seeking his first Daytona 500 win, while Kevin Harvick charged up on the outside with a full head of steam. In the tri-oval, Harvick's number 29 inched up alongside Martin's number 1, and the two drag-raced to the checkered flag amid chaos erupting behind them. As the field wrecked in a massive last-lap crash, Clint Bowyer even slid across the finish line on his roof, briefly on fire. Harvick edged Martin by 0.020 seconds, about half a car length, in a photo finish. It was the closest Daytona 500 finish at the time, and a frantic finish indeed. Martin was denied in heartbreaking fashion, while Harvick scored the victory in a wild scene. NASCAR chose not to throw a caution until after the leaders crossed the line, allowing the spectacular side-by-side finish. This dramatic ending, a razor-thin win while cars wrecked behind, remains one of the Daytona 500's most thrilling conclusions. 2011, Talladega Aaron's 499 Cup Series 4-wide photo finish. Talladega is known for breathtaking pack finishes, and the spring 2011 race made history with arguably the most exciting of all. After 188 laps of intense drafting, a record 88 lead changes occurred. The race came down to a 4-wide sprint. Jimmy Johnson, pushed by Dale Earnhardt Jr., surged low in the tri-oval, while Clint Bowyer and Jeff Gordon charged in the upper lanes. The top 4 cars crossed the line practically abreast, with Johnson's number 48 Chevy nosing out Bowyer's number 33 by 0.002 seconds, literally inches. It tied the closest margin in Cup history at the time. Johnson's winning push from Earnhardt Jr. capped a remarkable last lap where tandem drafting and side-by-side packs converged. The photo of 4 cars nearly even at the finish says it all. This Talladega thriller was a spectacle of split-second timing and teamwork. Johnson's victory by a bumper in a 4-wide finish remains one of NASCAR's most jaw-dropping final laps. 2016 Daytona 500 Cup Series, Hamlin by a hood over Truex. The 58th Daytona 500 treated fans to the closest finish in the Great American Race's history. In the final laps, Joe Gibbs Racing teammates were working together, but coming to the white flag, Denny Hamlin was shuffled back to 4th. Hamlin made a daring charge on the outside on the last lap. In turn 4, race leader Matt Kenseth slid trying to block, so Hamlin cut low with a big run. He drag-raced Martin Truex Jr. down the front stretch in a thriller. The two Toyotas crossed the line nearly locked together. Hamlin's number 11 won by 0.010 seconds, a few inches ahead of Truex's number 78. It was so close that it required a video replay to confirm the winner. Truex thought it was by a nose, and it was, just not his nose. Hamlin's first Daytona 500 win ended a 23-year drought for his team. This photo finish, the first Daytona 500 decided by thousands, instantly entered NASCAR lore. As an exhausted Hamlin exclaimed, "I don't know what I did, but it was enough." The dramatic last-lap charge and microscopic margin made this a truly thrilling finish. 2020 Daytona 500 Cup Series, Hamlin repeats in a wild finish. The 2020 Daytona 500 ended with a spectacular and harrowing last-lap scene. Denny Hamlin and Ryan Blaney were dueling coming off turn 4 when, just behind them, Ryan Newman's car was turned into the wall. As Hamlin and Blaney sprinted for the checkered flag, Newman's Ford went airborne and slid upside down in flames across the finish line. At the line, Hamlin in the number 11 inched ahead of Blaney's number 12 by 0.014 seconds, the second closest 500 finish ever. It was Hamlin's second straight Daytona 500 victory, but celebration was muted as attention turned to Newman's crash. Emergency crews rushed to Newman, who miraculously survived what looked like a fatal accident. He was hospitalized in serious condition but later recovered. Hamlin's win, determined by a nose in a photo finish, came amid the drama of Newman's wreck behind him. The finish was both thrilling and frightening, a reminder of Daytona's razor-thin line between triumph and tragedy. 2024 Advent Health 400 at Kansas Cup Series, closest finish in NASCAR history. Kansas Speedway was the stage for the closest recorded finish ever in NASCAR's top division. A late overtime restart set up a showdown between Kyle Larson and Chris Buescher. On the final lap, Larson swung high in turns 3 to 4 to build momentum and pulled even with Buescher off the corner. The two cars banged doors down the front stretch, each jockeying for every inch. They flashed under the checkered flag side by side, too close to call by eye. After several moments, NASCAR declared Larson the winner by 0.001 seconds. effectively a dead heat. It was a drag race of millimeters. Larson's number 5 Chevy barely beat Buescher's number 17 Ford, per the high-speed camera review. Both drivers were astonished. Larson called it wild, and Buescher was in disbelief at losing by a literal blink. This finish broke the previous record margin, 0.002, and gave fans a thrilling photo finish for the ages. The door-to-door duel and unprecedented margin made this Kansas race an instant classic in NASCAR history. 1995, AC Delco 200 at Rockingham, Xfinity Series, 3-wide photo finish. One of the Busch Series, now Xfinity, most thrilling finishes came at Rockingham in 1995. In the final laps of the AC Delco 200, 3 drivers, Johnny Benson, Mike Wallace, and Todd Bodine, found themselves bumper-to-bumper for the win. On the last lap, leader Wallace protected the inside while Benson charged high. Todd Bodine saw an opening and dove to the bottom in Turn 3. Exiting Turn 4, the trio went 3 wide toward the finish. Benson and Wallace bounced off each other, allowing Bodine's number 72 Chevy to pull ahead by inches. All 3 cars thundered across the line nearly simultaneously. Bodine won by less than a foot in a photo finish, with Benson and Wallace literally tied up in contact as they crossed. It was Bodine's 8th career Busch win and came in spectacular style. Benson, who would clinch the series championship that year, still secured the title despite finishing 3rd by a hair. This finish, 3 wide with a nose separating 1st and 3rd, remains one of the series' most exciting finales and proved Rockingham's penchant for close finishes. 2010 Napa Auto Parts 200 at Montreal, Xfinity Series, Road Course Ringers Duel. Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal saw a barn-burner finish in 2010's Nationwide Series race. 2 road course aces, Boris Said and Max Papis, delivered a nail-biting finale. A late caution set up a green-white checkered overtime. On the final lap, Said, in a Ford, led Papis, in a Chevy, to the last chicane. Papis made a bold dive to the inside entering the final corners and actually inched ahead momentarily. But Said crossed him over. As Papis slid wide, exiting the chicane, Said kept his momentum on the inside. The drag race down the pit straight was incredibly tight. Boris Said's number 9 machine beat Papis to the line by a mere 0.012 seconds, one of the closest road course finishes ever. It was Said's first Nationwide Series win in 22 attempts, and it came in dramatic fashion, by a nose after swapping the lead twice within sight of the checkered flag. The veteran Said celebrated exuberantly, while Papis, who lost by inches, sportingly congratulated him. This photo finish on a road course with 2 international drivers was an instant classic that showed NASCAR road races can thrill just as much as ovals. 2018 Power Shares, Triple Q 300 at Daytona, Xfinity Series, closest finish in NASCAR history, tie. The 2018 Xfinity Series season opener produced a finish for the record books. In a race that saw multiple overtimes and wild wrecks, it all came down to JR Motorsports teammates Tyler Reddick and Elliott Sadler battling side-by-side at Daytona. After 5 overtime attempts, Reddick in the number 9 and Sadler in the number 1 were neck and neck coming to the line. They crossed in a near-dead heat, so close that NASCAR's timing and scoring initially showed a margin of 0.0000 seconds. In fact, the electronic timing later resolved to 0.0004 seconds, giving Reddick the win by a few thousandths. This is officially recorded as 0.000 and stands as the closest finish in any NASCAR National Series race. Fans and teams waited through tense moments for NASCAR to review the photo and video evidence. Reddick was finally declared the victor, with Sadler an agonizingly close second. The difference was estimated at just 3 or 4 inches at 180+ miles per hour. It was Reddick's first win, and he did it in spectacular fashion, the closest finish possible. This thrilling, microscopic margin finish emphatically underscored how even a 300-mile race at Daytona can come down to inches. 2021 Food City 300 at Bristol, Xfinity Series, Allmendinger and Cindric wrecking at the line. The Xfinity Series regular season finale at Bristol in 2021 delivered a wild finish that left sparks flying and cars wrecked after the flag. On a green-white checkered overtime restart, A.J. Allmendinger, Austin Cindric, and Justin Allgaier traded blows in tight quarters. Allmendinger's number 16 dove under Cindric and Allgaier to grab the lead at the white flag. But on the final lap, Cindric returned the favor in Turn 4. He drove deep and slammed into Allmendinger coming off the corner. Both cars went sideways, banging off each other as they slid across the finish line. Allmendinger crossed first by 0.082 seconds before careening into the inside wall. Cindric's damaged Ford also spun out across the line in second. In the immediate aftermath, Allmendinger's Chevy was hit hard by his teammate Justin Haley, who couldn't avoid the post-finish carnage. Allmendinger emerged from the smoke as the winner and the regular season champion, albeit with a destroyed race car. "It's Bristol, baby," he said of the bump-and-run finish. Fans were left buzzing at the sight of two drivers crashing each other at the line, underscoring that at Bristol, a win is worth everything, even wrecking in the process of victory. 1995, Total Petroleum 200 at Colorado, Truck Series 0.001 second finish, a NASCAR first. The inaugural Truck Series season yielded a historic finish at Colorado National Speedway. Veteran Butch Miller and points leader Mike Skinner staged a fender-clanging duel on the final lap of this short-track race. Lapped traffic forced Miller to check up just before the white flag, allowing Skinner to draw alongside entering the last lap. The two trucks ran door-to-door through the final turns and to the finish line in a blur of red and black bumpers. Miller's number 98 Ford narrowly beat Skinner's number 3 Chevrolet by 0.001 seconds, 1/1000th of a second, according to electronic timing. It was the closest finish ever recorded in any NASCAR division at the time. Miller celebrated by doing what's believed to be NASCAR's first intentional victory burnout, spinning his truck in the infield with glee. Skinner was gracious in defeat despite losing by a literal eye blink. This finish not only gave Miller his lone Truck Series win, but also etched its place in history for its infinitesimal margin. It proved the new Truck Series could deliver amazing finishes, and it remains tied as the closest finish in series history. 2010, Mountain Dew 250 at Talladega, Truck Series, 3 wide, and a .002 second triumph. Superspeedway magic isn't limited to NASCAR's top series. In the 2010 Talladega truck race, a green-white checkered restart set up a breathtaking final lap. Kyle Busch, Aric Almirola, and Johnny Sauter were barreling toward the tri-oval in a tight pack. Busch's number 18 Toyota got a push that propelled him low. Almirola's number 51 charged in the middle, and Sauter was just high of them, 3 wide for the win. In a finish as close as Darlington 2003, Busch surged ahead by 0.002 seconds over Almirola, tying the all-time NASCAR record for smallest margin at that time. The finish was so close, it had to be measured to the thousandth, Busch by an inch or two. Video replays showed Busch literally nosing ahead right at the stripe. His win, with Sauter a few feet back in third, produced the closest Truck Series finish in modern timing era. It also capped a chaotic race that saw a last lap wreck with a truck sliding on its roof as the leaders hit the line. Busch's dramatic victory by a nose, in a 3-wide photo finish at 180 miles per hour, stands out as one of the Truck Series' most thrilling conclusions. 2016 Chevrolet Silverado 250 at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, Truck Series. Controversy in Canada, a bump-and-tackle finish. A last-lap clash on a road course led to high drama and even a fight after the finish of the 2016 truck race in Bowmanville, Canada. Second-generation drivers John Hunter Nemechek and Cole Custer were fighting hard on the final lap of the 2.5-mile road circuit. Custer's number 00 Chevrolet led Nemechek's number 8 through the final 2 turns when Nemechek nudged Custer entering the last corner, then shoved alongside through the grass in a door-banging drag race to the checkered. Both trucks skidded off course, grinding together toward the finish line. They crossed virtually tied, wrecking as they did, Nemechek leaning on Custer, until both spun past the flag stand. It took NASCAR about 10 minutes to review the finish, eventually declaring Nemechek the winner as sparks flew from their crashed trucks. Custer, feeling he was robbed by Nemechek's rough driving, sprinted down the front stretch and tackled Nemechek to the ground in the infield grass moments afterward. The scene was chaotic. 2 young drivers in a shoving match and a chorus of boos from fans. Nemechek defended his rubbing racing tactics while Custer decried the move as dirty. Regardless, the finish was unforgettable, a dead heat decided by video, a win earned amid bumping and off-track excursions, and a post-race brawl to top it off. It remains one of the Truck Series' craziest last-lap finishes, highlighting the no-holds-barred intensity of drivers chasing a victory. Each of these races exemplified the excitement of a last-lap NASCAR showdown, whether decided by inches on the clock, paint-trading duels, or unbelievable twists. They stand as some of the most thrilling finishes across NASCAR's Cup, Xfinity, and Truck Series history.